Hey, what's up everybody? We have a project on our hands right here. That's the project. The project is also, you guys, give me a quick like, give me a shout out, something. It really helps. I need to boost that YouTube channel and all sorts of likings. And also thank you Armstrong guys for allowing me to get this project. I was really looking forward to that. And you know how it was. We were always looking at how can I get smaller boards, smaller gears, smaller this, smaller that, sinker boards, super cool. And for SUP foiling, really the opposite is the case. You need a board that carries you. And here we have it. We have a full 121 liters at a length of a 7.7. And I'm thinking like, wow, this is just about what I probably am able to stand on. And this video series is going to be about middle-aged guy learning how to SUP foil. Can I get this thing up in flat water? How does this thing actually go for winging? A lot of people say they're super good for light wind winging. So I want to see if I can wing this thing, this thing-a-ding in a lightest of light winds. Some people say for prone foiling, super fun because you can get into the waves so early. So I want to try all of this out. So again, we have like a 3-in-1 kind of sport board. We discussed, of course, the same thing with the sinker boards. Yes, you have a prone foil board. You can, if you start it in snooking winds, you have a wing foil board. And the one thing you definitely don't do is SUP foiling on a sinker board. But anywho, this is the board. And we want to look a little bit what it came with, and of course it came with a bag, and yes, it was all nicely wrapped for shipping, so no worries. There was like cardboard everywhere and stuffing. And then the board came with 2 rear stump pads, like how we know them from surfing, and it came with 4 kind of thinner, waxless kind of adhesives. And I was kind of debating, shall I just slap this thing on? Where should it go? And that is really the one big question, is where should this thing go? Because is it too far forward? I'm restricting my foot for going too further back. If I have it too far back, I kind of have this slippery part here. I guess I can always put a little wax. But either way, my foot is always restricted by by that bar. So, and I don't have any experience in SUP foiling, let alone with a big board like this. So I'm not sure. Am I going to put my foot way behind the foil, or am I standing in front of the foil? I see videos where guys are having different foot positionings with different mass positioning, so that's going to be very interesting. But the cool thing is, and I really thought that was kind of a nifty idea, is like I got everything twice. So if I screw up, I can tear these things off and reset it. So we're going to do we're gonna go look where we should put this ideally, and then we're gonna try it out and see if I screwed up or not, and then we can always help ourselves a second time. So welcome to the series. There's gonna be multiple videos, I assume. We're gonna find out what is this board good for, and can a guy like me in this age keep up with the young guns and get this thing out of the water in flat water. All right, guys, now at the beach, and as I said, we have this question, where am I going to put this stump pad? And I did put the mast on first to have a look, and you know how it is in the beginning, you're beginner style, and you're going to put the mast all the way back because you want to avoid a lot of lift. So, but because we've been winging and foiling all together, I put the mast on a 7 position, which is pretty much kind of like a little bit forward in the middle. The foot, I would say, if I go like about a foot width behind the mast, I think that should actually be okay. And then as far as the forward movement goes, I can move my foot around and change my feet and see where I'm comfortable with. But for now, I think a foot width behind the board, or the foot width behind the mast, I think that's going to be okay. So as far as the setup goes, we're going to go right back to beginner mode, to where I started so many years ago. My biggest foil is an 1850 square centimeter foil. We're going to use the biggest stabilizer that I have here in the back, the 232 stabilizer. So really right back where I started, the long fuselage and the short mast. because I think it's better to have a shorter mast in the beginning, because I want to get this thing out of the water. I don't want to bury that foil too deep underwater, so we're going to use a shorter mast. And then again, I'm about 75 kilos, 121 liter board, so flotation absolutely no problem. I'm a medium athletic guy, I want to say, not the youngest, not a young gun anymore, so it's really going to be interesting to see if my cardio is going to be good enough to get this thing out of the water. Humble pie for sure. I want to say, first thing, I need to learn how to paddle in a straight line. I did not anticipate that to be a problem. That did not occur to me after 13 years plus of paddling on longer boards, of course. I did think this thing will hold its track, but it does not. And the moment I'm going into surf stance and trying to push this thing out of the water, instantly I'm paddling in a circle. So that is one trick that I need to learn. Standing on the board, I mean, yes, absolutely. You need some sort of SUP experience or board experience. If you have never done this at all, ever, anyhow, anyway, you are not going to be standing on this. I am pretty convinced about that. So that was my first paddle out. The second paddle out was, I need to try this in choppy water, because how am I ever going to get up in bumps if I don't figure that out in choppy waters? And I must actually say, I was quite surprised. The choppy water situation was not as difficult as I anticipated. I could hold myself on the board. My feet are hanging over the rails mostly, and for everybody, please be careful, because I sure took my paddle right to my toe at some point, and that was not a lot of fun. So keep your toes inside the board, and which works as well. So I must say that paddling around in choppy water was a-okay. I had not a problem with that, so that was good. So I was happy with that. Getting this thing out of the water in flat water, I don't know. I did not stand a chance. That was like no chance there. Even with a little onshore wind and small bumps there, no chance. So on the third day, I was like, screw this, I'm gonna have to have some sort of a little bit of a success. So what I did was, I went to the local foil spot there, and I sat about as far over on the shoulder as I could on a glassy day, so there was no wind, the conditions were good, but I just wanted to be as far over on the shoulder as I possibly can, and really only paddle into waves that are super duper flat. And I finally had actually some success with this. So I was super stoked, because I now realized and learned and experienced how fast the board actually engages, how fast and easy it catches a glide. And once I'm paddling like mad, then the whole circle in paddling a circle situation doesn't matter much anymore. So, and the board came out of the water as expected. Of course, I was on a big foil, and I was able to glide. So that was stoked on that, no problem with that, all good. The next problem, and that's going to be the interesting one, is I am not used to a board this big foiling. So turning and pumping is a whole different animal, and of course that all comes into play when we're going to talk about downwinders. But before we talk about downwinders, I think I have a whole bunch of other things to learn. But for now, I'd say tip-top board to learn for me. It really works, and I hope you guys come along on this journey, and we'll see you in the next video.